All right, everyone. Coming up on FTC Top 25, we have the results for our March Top 25, and they're comprised of your votes from the community. We have teams from 4 countries on this list and multiple US states, so let's get ready for the March POWERPLAY FTC Top 25.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. Kettering University is looking for talented robotics students who want to continue learning and innovating in a hands-on, real-world experience format. Kettering University representatives will be at dozens of FIRST events this season, including the championship. Go to kettering.edu/first to see which events you can meet a Kettering University representative.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the FTC Top 25, where we reveal the top 25 all of you voted for. From First Updates Now, I'm Abbas, and joining me tonight are Tyler, Sahil, and Caden. We're excited to have you all back for the POWERPLAY season and for so many of you to participate in FTC Top 25 voting. Make sure next month you keep an eye out for when voting opens for our pre-champ show and cast your votes. And before champs, we're also going to have our annual reveal night, and Tyler will soon post instructions for how you can submit your videos. We also have some awesome giveaways from Andy, Mark, and Go Build It tonight, and so let's stay tuned to hear how to enter and win those. Caden, why don't we start off our March Top 25, and who's going to be our 25th team?
Starting off our March Top 25, we have Team 16458, the TECHNOWIZARDS from San Antonio, Texas. At the end of February, they had their Central Texas Regional Championship, where they were the second pick on the winning alliance, but were more importantly the Inspire Award winner, giving them a ticket to Worlds, which is just under a month away. We've seen them a couple times on Top 25 this season, and it looks like they've just kept going for what's been working well for them. A super smooth transfer, consistent depositing, and fast scoring.
Yeah, I mean, TECHNOWIZARDS, we've talked about them a couple times this season. I think they were kind of not so well known the first time we talked about them, but, since then they've been a regular. And Texas was definitely very interesting this season with that advancement order. They had, I think, 5 or 6 regional championships, and then from each regional championships, like a bunch of teams qualified for states, at least 10, like 7 to 10 at least. But then whoever won the Inspire Award at the regional championship automatically got a ticket to Worlds. So definitely a very interesting way to do it. I'm kind of interested to see what Texas teams think about that, because those Inspire teams are also allowed to compete at Texas states. I'm not sure how many of them. I assume all of them are going to be competing this weekend. But, definitely interesting having that, because they can't really win at Texas states. So kind of takes out a lot of teams from Inspire contention, which is kind of strange. I don't know. Very unique way to do it. But regardless, I think the Texas states competition is just going to be so competitive. And Sahil, you want to go on to our next team?
Yeah. So for one of the first times, we actually have a tie for our 25th. Our second team in the 25th place is 12518 Almond Robotics from Potomac, Maryland. We've seen them compete all over the U.S. this year, in Chesapeake, New Mexico, and finally Alabama. At the Alabama State Championship, they really hit their stride with their autonomous having a 1+5 auto on the mid-junction, helping them be the first pick of the winning alliance. Overall, the super compact drivetrain and multiple alignment mechanisms helped them make a pretty fast scoring machine.
Yeah, I think they finally hit their stride coming into Alabama. They were on that winning alliance, definitely very difficult. There were just so many top teams at this competition, and we can see that junction alignment mechanism really helped them out, I think, in making sure that auto was consistent. And Caden, I know you guys competed this year. You guys did pretty well at Florida. You had a junction alignment mechanism, correct?
Yeah, we did. We added that for states.
Yeah, and so how was your experience with that? Was it something really helpful, or do you think you could have just done without it? What do you think?
I would say it's crucial. It was like the backbone of our auto, and is the only reason why our 1+5 worked.
Oh wow!
And yeah, in the matches that we had, the 1+5 is, super consistent with that pull guide, allowing that pull guide to bend out of the way into the correct spot is just crucial to making sure that you're depositing the cone on the pull.
Yeah, I wonder how many teams we'll see at Houston with those. Or actually, I guess the better question is how many teams we'll see without one at Houston. Seems like everyone. It's kind of like the Magnet Cup cap from last season. Just everyone has one. Really, really interesting how quickly it caught on. But yeah, starting off our 24th place, we have one of our Freight Frenzy world champion teams in Team 11260 Upper Creek Robotics from Longmont, Colorado. They were the Inspire Award recipient and finalist alliance captain at the Colorado State Championship. And I think most notable about their robot is the fact that they're currently tied for the most cones scored in autonomous during a match with their 1+8 9-cone autonomous that we can see on screen here. And we know they won last year in Houston, and I would not be surprised if they make another deep run into eliminations this year. Just such a strong robot. And, it's pretty interesting how they used how they reused so many components from their drivetrain and turret last year. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And their turret worked very, very well. I'm sure, as you can attest, Caden.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
Yep. So let's move on to our. Yeah, go ahead, Sal.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool, like how they finally made it back up to the top. Because I remember in beginning season there hasn't been much talk about them, but they're finally back into the top 25.
Yeah. And so in 23rd, we have Team 21232 No Team from Herndon, Virginia. And after a strong performance at the Chesapeake State Championship, they made some changes, most notably an active intake, and ended as the finalist alliance captain at the Alabama State Championship. And so they have a super solid robot. I think what really stands out to me the most is their software. Their just control algorithms, automations, everything. I'd really urge everyone to take a look at their behind the bot. They just have some incredible autonomous path planning, following, just automations throughout teleop, everything makes them a really, really strong team. So hopefully they're, competing at some off-season events. MTI shouldn't be too far from them. I know they were around that area for Chesapeake champs anyways. But definitely a very, very very fast scoring machine.
So
Sahil,
their team name is No Team.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I wonder how that goes for judging and game announcing and everything.
I got really confused for a second, but then that makes sense.
Yep. All right. Why don't we go on to 22nd?
Yeah. So in the 22nd spot is another team from the Chesapeake region, Team 19458 EQUILIBRIUM.EXE. They were the first pick of the finalist alliance at the Chesapeake State Championship and second place Inspire Award recipient, giving them a spot to Houston. We talked about them in the past 25s. Overall, it's just a super smooth and consistent performance that makes them always rank really high. We've seen them hints at a new robot for Worlds, so I can't wait to see what they bring.
Yeah, I think we saw some pictures, while they were campaigning for their top 25 votes this month. But looks like they're going to have a new robot for Worlds. Pretty interested to see what they bring. Knowing them, I'm sure it won't be too different. They really like to stick to the consistent designs. They know what works, and they want to keep that. But I'm sure they'll do really, really well in qualifications and Olymps.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting about this bot is their cone guide in the front that they use while they're intaking, and also while they're using intaking cones during auto. So very interesting mechanism. So far, I think it's the only team I've seen have something like that.
Yeah, definitely. It is a pretty large mechanism, but I think they're able to control it so well. And I feel like other teams must have tried something like that, but it's just maybe being able to like effectively control it. And we did a behind the bot with them, and they were talking about, actually what I found out on it was that they have 2 actuations, like they have 2 degrees of freedom on it. So they can move it like perfectly horizontally if they need to, or perfectly vertically, just in any XY motion, because of that double degree of freedom instead of just one pivot.
Interesting.
But yeah. So in 21st place, we have Team 19746, the disruptingly robocephalic brainstorm robotics team from Austin, Texas. They were the winning alliance first pick at the Colorado State Championship and the finalist alliance captain at the Central Texas Regional Championship. So obviously, going into this Texas State Championship this weekend, they clearly have a top-notch robot. From what I've heard, I think they have a 4-motor lift, and they just released their control award video a couple days ago. And, after watching that, it seems like they have some very impressive sensor fusion in order to have very consistent autonomous programs. And most notably, I think they're also part of the World Record Alliance, currently at 297 points, a nearly perfect match. So I can't wait to see what they bring to Texas. And do you guys think that record will be broken this weekend at Texas Champs?
Yeah, I think it's definitely possible.
So. Yeah.
You think so? I don't know. It'll be tough. Like obviously the robots to do it are definitely there. I think one thing that makes it so difficult though is this with the ownership. Like with this game, you can't have the other alliance have little if any ownership, right? And so this late into the season, 99% of the robots at Texas are going to be working very, very well. So it'll be tough to have a match where you can just cover the whole field for Junction ownership. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have some very high scores, though. Yeah. Kaden, you want to start off our top 20?
All right. So we have team 13356 RoboForce from Fremont, California. They were the finalist alliance captain at the NorCal Championship after some very tough matches with teams that we'll see later on tonight's list. They have a simpler design with a transfer mechanism or dual slides, but this lets them just zip around the field and score cones extremely quickly. I hope they go for some off-season competitions like MTI, CRI, or any others that seem to pop up.
Yeah, RoboForce, definitely great team. Another team we did a behind the bot with. Really, really fast mechanisms. And I mean, you can just see that driver practice just back and forth so consistently. And man, NorCal was a very tough championship this time around. I think finals 3 was decided like just one minor penalty, like 229 to 219 or something like that. And one minor penalty less and the match would have been a tie. So really, really close competition, and RoboForce definitely a fantastic robot, and hopefully we see them compete later this season.
Somebody mentioned CRA. Has CRA talked about like their big change for this year yet?
Not yet. They posted like some just teasers. I think they're like just finalizing the details. So soon, very soon.
I don't want to spoil anything, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And, we'll definitely do the CRI, pre-CRI show and everything as we've done in seasons past. So I'm really excited about that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sahil?
All right. In our 19th place is our first international team for the night, Team 12887 DEVOLT PHOBOS from Chihuahua, Mexico. Although they had already qualified for Worlds at New Mexico Championship as the winning alliance captain, they went undefeated in the Mexico National Championship 3 weeks later, taking home both the Inspire Award winning and winning alliance captain. They've already shown that they can compete with the best of the best, and I'm really excited to see how they do at Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, they're just able to control that turret so effectively. I think a lot of teams, they add that turret mechanism mostly for autonomous, just so they don't have to move and turn as much. And then for teleop, they don't really use it too much. But with DEVOLT PHOBOS, they're definitely able to use it very effectively. And I think that shows in their match play. Very, very great team, and I'm excited to see how they do in Houston.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're one of the few top teams to have a intake that grabs from the top of the card.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like early season, the day the game was released, everyone was like, "Oh, Vex intake." All you have to do is copy that, and you'll win Worlds. But as the seasons progress, really haven't seen too many of those. But Phobos has definitely been able to tune it, refine it, and get it working really well for them. So that's very well done on their part.
Yeah.
And in 18th place, we have a team that we haven't had yet on our top 25, actually, and that's Team 12791, Iterative Intentions from Flower Mound, Texas. They already qualified for the World Championship, sweeping Alabama, taking home both the Inspire Award winner and winning Lions captain. And I think most people can easily see this team being a very strong contender for any of the technical awards in Houston. They're only one of 2 teams this year that have really mastered that pass-through turret design. The other, I'm sure we'll see later tonight. But yeah, this is just really, really incredible robot. I can't wait to get up close and see it, exactly how it works, why they have all 4, 4 slides at those 45-degree angles. And there's just so much going on with this robot. I can't wait to see it in Houston. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, the 4 slides is definitely interesting. It definitely helps with rigidity on their slide system. But we'll see if it's worth the added weight to the robot.
Yeah. I can't even imagine how heavy that robot is. I think I saw a post the other day of some team that had, I think it was GNCE from Massachusetts. They had a pretty simple looking robot. It was a turret crane type design. And they're like, oh, this weighs 70 pounds. And that was just crazy to me that I don't know where they're filling the weights in under the robot, but Iterative Intentions definitely has something around their weight wise. I don't know. I'd be interested to see how much it weighs.
That's more than some FRC robots this year, by the way.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
All right, in 17th place is the powerhouse team from Indiana, 11329 ICE Robotics. They have one of the cleanest robots we've seen this year with that super nice white and blue color scheme. Functionally, they are blazingly fast with linear slides and a virtual 4-bar. Unfortunately, they ended short at the Indiana State Championship, losing in the semifinals. It looks like they may not be the last time we see them, as it appears that they're submitting for MTI, with the footage on the screen being the MTI application video they posted online.
Yeah, no, I mean, ICE is definitely one of those teams that should be competing with the best of the best at MTI. Very, very fast. And, they've just been killing it all season. So can't wait to see what they have planned for the rest. And next season as well, I'm sure they'll have a strong showing.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to seeing that team compete at Worlds, but it will be definitely cool to see them at MTI or CRI for sure.
Yeah, and the rest of the teams coming out of Indiana are no slouches either. Definitely a very strong very strong state competition too. So,
Yep. All right. So in the 16th place is a team we've been hearing about season after season. Team 8393, the giant diencephalic brainstorm robotics team, is again in our top 25. They had an extremely quick robot this season with the side turret design, and it's really their ability to maneuver around the field that has stood out. They so effortlessly drive between and around junctions. Unfortunately, their FTC team did not qualify World Championship, but hopefully we'll see them at an off-season event.
Yeah, I mean, we know they frequent MTI, so hopefully they'll be there again. Really, really fast robot, just some tough matches in Chesapeake and Massachusetts. I'm pretty sure not Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure in Pennsylvania they were part of the winning alliance, but just the first pick or second pick. So, they didn't get one of those tickets to Worlds, but, another time.
Yeah.
Yeah, next time. And Tyler, before we go on, do you want to start our Andy Mark giveaway?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. So we got a couple things from our friends at Andy Mark that we're giving away. So let's bring those up on screen, and we'll have a keyword up there as well too. So from our friends at Andy Mark, they are giving away a sushi roller assortment kit, and then on top of that, they're also giving away a red and blue power cone as well too. So if you're interested in winning, type sushi in chat right now. That's your opportunity to win. We're going to draw for the winner of that, and then start our next giveaway at just before 5 or team number 5. So. Make sure you type in sushi right now. That's your opportunity to win. You need to be following the win, and we do give our subscribers a little bit extra luck because we just rig it that way for them. So thanks a lot to Andy Mark for the sushi roller kit and power play cones as well.
All right, let's get on to our 15th place. So in 15th, we have Team 21229 Quality Control from Bellevue, Washington. They are the other half of the world record holding alliance at 297 points and have qualified for the World Championship as the winning alliance captain from Colorado. The defining feature of this robot and team just has to be their consistency. They just do not miss autonomous cones, and it really, really helps them rank super high going into eliminations. And, coming into Worlds, they're another one of those teams that's shown some pictures and videos of a new robot in the works. So I can't wait to see, what they end up bringing. And I think it's going to be really interesting in general, like all of the teams that had earlier state championships, like late January, early February, the ones who are rebuilding or just making a new robot with the same design, how they end up doing in Houston, because that's always a very, very big risk you have to think about and be willing to take in order for it to work out. But with Upper Creek, we saw it work out very well last year. They built basically the same robot, just reassembled it with all new parts and everything. And clearly it worked out well for them. So, it's been done before. I'm sure it'll be done again. And hopefully, I'm sure Quality Control is shooting to be one of those teams that can do really well in Houston.
Yeah, rebuilds are always interesting. I feel like if you're going to do a rebuild, do it kind of like how Upper Creek did it by making the same robot, but just improving your mechanisms. But if you're making an entirely new robot, that's definitely going to be a challenge. We'll see how that.
Yeah. Building a new robot can get really stressful if you don't plan it out right and have it up and running within the short time period that you have. For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. In 14th place, we have our second international team of the night, Team 17962 Road 2D2 from Romania. They were the Inspire Award winner and had a good run in eliminations at the Romanian National Championship. Currently, they are the 10th highest score in the world at 280 points and have such a fast robot. One of the unique things about them is mainly their driver strategy. They often score a couple cones in the beginning of the driver-controlled period, and then they wait until the last 30 seconds to just cover the field and take as many ownership points as possible. I'm sure they're going to be a force to reckon with in Houston.
Yeah, no, definitely very interesting strategy. And I was watching their Romania national championship, seeing how they're doing, and they really pulled it off pretty well. I think their first couple matches, like they left maybe 7 to 10 cones until the last 30 seconds, and they ended up clearing like all of them out for the match. And you would go back and look at their junction ownership map, and they just have like all the cones, all the junctions covered, and like maybe one or two junctions or like cones wasted in the sense that they were placed on a lower point value junction and then covered by the other alliance. But definitely really good driver strategy. Excited to see how they do at Worlds. If they change anything. I don't know what you would change about this robot, though. It's just so fast.
Yeah, everyone at Romania was just really competitive. I remember in the stream, it would just go back and forth between all the robots on the field.
Yeah, I think actually another thing that was pretty interesting about Romania, they had like refs from the States come and be do some of the reffing there. So that was like kind of
Oh, wow.
interesting. Yeah, I think like one of the Texas head refs was a ref in Romania. So I
Nice.
thought that was pretty funny. Yeah.
All right. So in the 13th place is Team 14179, the Sushi Squad from Redmond, Washington. They ended their season as the Inspire Award's second place recipient at the New Mexico Regional Championship, and the highest non-penalty average score out of any of the team thus far at 251 points per match. That is just nuts. They have simply created an incredible control of their long arm and turret mechanisms, and I really hope to see them compete summer off season.
Yeah, no, Sushi was just like insane. I saw them compete at New Mexico States. They were just so fast, and I really want to highlight that point: 251 points non-penalty average score. I mean, that's just I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
something else. Definitely unfortunate they couldn't qualify for Worlds, but Washington just so many strong teams each year. I'm sure they'll come back really strong next year too.
I just want to give a shout out. I was up in PNW this past week, or Pacific Northwest, and I got to meet members of their FRC team. So I don't know if they had any that was on both or anything like that, but definitely just a well-composed team on the FRC side. And I'm sure that translates into FTC as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I know their FRC team has some crazy merch, and Sushi always has some very clean robots aesthetically. So that definitely translates over. But yeah, going on to our 12th spot, we have Team 14259 Turbo V8 from San Ramon, California. They were the Innovate Award winner in their NorCal championships and also made a strong run in eliminations, but unfortunately did not qualify for Worlds this year. They have some of the longest extensions I've seen from any robot this season. And one thing that I think is really underrated about them is their transfer. It just has such a large margin for error. And I think that's really key to performing well across different fields with different cones, just in a bunch of different situations. It really makes them a very high performing robot. So can't wait to see what they have next year, and definitely very impressive this season. They were another one of those teams that took that risk to rebuild, work on a couple different robots, especially with NorCal having that competitions like early in October, November, December, and then having regionals all the way in March. They had 3 months or so to build a new robot, and they took that risk, and it was close. It was close to paying off, but I'm sure they learned a lot from it. So,
Yeah.
yep.
In our 11th spot, we have a team that holds the most top 10 scores currently. Team 7149, the Enforcers from New Jersey. They have just an incredible scoring machine. Most notably, perhaps, is their active intake, but the rest of the robot is just as fast. The double reverse 4-bar, smooth driving, autonomous, intake, arm, everything. We just recorded a behind the bot with them and are really excited to show you the up close of how everything works on their bot. This is a team that everyone has to watch out for coming into Worlds.
Yeah, no, I saw Enforcer firsthand in New Jersey, just incredible machine. And, as you said, Zahil, I just finished recording a Behind the Bot with them a couple hours ago. Really, really cool team. Really incredible mechanisms. And I cannot wait to see how they do at Worlds. Caden, you have any thoughts about them?
Yeah, their intake is just crazy. Being able to pick up a cone in any orientation on the field, definitely interesting. Like you can see that they'll intake a cone from the bottom side, and then they can also do it from the top side when they're completely flat on the ground. Definitely interesting to have that flexibility, be able to pick up a cone from any orientation.
Yeah.
It definitely helps for any dropped cones, but as far as like cycling, it does cost them some time in transferring to their deposit. But overall, super cool design.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. Look how quickly they picked up a cone off the ground junction. There's maybe one or two other teams in the world that can do that this season, if there are any. And that's just incredible. Really, really
Yeah.
top team. I can't wait to see how they do in Houston.
All right, in 10th place is our Freight Frenzy Worlds Winning Alliance captain team, 17-7-3 Delta Force from Romania. In a bold move, 17-7-3 pulled up to the Romanian nationals with an entirely different robot from their last competition. They had a strong run, ending as the finalist Alliance captain, and this robot run reminded me a lot more of their style from last year, simple and fast. We saw them at MTI last year, and hopefully they will make another appearance this offseason.
Yeah, definitely very interesting choice to go for a completely new robot. I think definitely was helped by the fact that it was more of a return to their roots. They knew that this strategy in general worked well going for a simple and fast robot, so that I'm sure eased their mind a little bit. But one thing that did not help was Romania National Championships getting moved up a week. So, for those that don't know, Romania National Championships was actually supposed to be a week later than it was, and then it got moved up around close to the championship time. So that took away a lot of time from teams that were rebuilding or making changes to their robot, Delta Force being one of them. But this robot definitely performed very, very well. And I really hope they compete in some off-season events like MTI or CRI.
Yeah, I can see just like Upper Creek, they have like the common design as they're using from the World Championship to be to their advantage for this season as well.
Yeah, for sure. All right, on to our 9th place. So in 9th place, we have the other record holder for the most cones scored in Autonomous so far, Team 16379, the KOOKYBOTZ from Sammamish, Washington. We've talked about them all season on Top 25, and being the first to hit the 1+10, everyone is familiar with this robot. The swerve, dual extension, passive deposit, just everything. Coming into the World Championship, they've hinted at a new robot, but we haven't seen anything just concrete just yet, so I can't wait until they reveal. How do you guys think they'll fare in Houston?
Yeah, I think that since the beginning, they were really fast at the start of the season, and they just kept it up consistently and got a lot of practice for every competition they went to. So I feel like they wouldn't hesitate to take a top spot for sure at Worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kaden,
I know they hinted on a new swerve for their rebuild, so it's going to be interesting to see what they improve on their already existing swerve, seeing that it works so well.
Yeah, we just have to wait and see a little bit longer, I guess. Worlds is just under a month away. I think 29, 28 days. So, not too much longer to wait. Let's get on to the next team.
All right, in 8th place is another international team. Our first Israeli team so far, Team 15637 Fata Morgana. They were the Winning Alliance captain at the Israel National Championship and have a very impressive robot with a dual extension, turret design, and a fast transfer that grabs inside the cone. I can't wait to see what they bring to Houston. Looks like they excel at sitting and stacking in auto, but also move around the field during teleop to make the circuits and get junction ownership points.
Yeah, no, Fata Morgana definitely has a very, very good robot. I think every year they're pretty strong. Last year they looked really good coming into MTI. Unfortunately, they weren't able to compete just at the last minute. But this year, looking really strong. Horizontal extension, really interesting transfer design with that internal cone grabber. But clearly, it works very well, and they're able to control that deposit extension so well. And Caden, so I have a question for you. You know, having competed this season and seeing all the robots at Florida States, what do you think is like the ideal deposit extension length? You know, like do you like the robots that have like super long extensions, or like where do you draw the line? I know you guys had a very short, like close to the robot deposit system, but not all robots this season are like that.
So the main reason we went with something short out the back of our bot was just so easier for the driver to control the location of the cone relative to like the axis the robot will spin on. So having something that sticks farther out will obviously take longer or take more driver control. And it's something interesting, like with our intake, it extends out quite a lot and it's fixed when it's extended. So
Yeah.
just when I'm driving, going to intake, it takes a lot of practice to be able to get the intake in the right spot at the right time. So I think it's something you'll definitely see with deposits that stick farther out. And I know if your deposit has like linear slides or a turret or something like that, you have more flexibility or more accuracy when placing.
Yeah, no, but Fata Morgana definitely able to control that deposit so well. I think they've really hit the nail on the head with that, deposit length and everything. And I can't wait to see how they do at Worlds.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, like for the long extensions, you have to make sure you don't turn at the wrong time, because otherwise you'll knock into cones and maybe even like get penalties, which definitely won't end really well.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
All right, Sahil.
in the 7th spot is another absolute machine from New Jersey, Team 9889 Cruise Control. They have been absolutely top-notch this season, holding multiple world records and top 10 scores, and they performed about as expected as New Jersey State's, which is to say extremely well. They have just a super fast and consistent robot that can score from either side, and I know they will be scoring really well at Houston.
Yeah, no, just crazy robot. Looks like we saw just a few changes from their New Jersey League Championships and previous meets and everything. Most notably, probably just those little fingers sticking out in front of the robot we can see to space them off the wall properly. But, they've just been doing really well what they did the entire season, driving super smoothly, not missing any placements, and scoring really, really well. So I can't wait to see what they bring to Houston. I'm not sure if they'll change anything or not, but either way, I'm sure it'll work out really well for them. Yeah. Okay. In 6th place, we have Team 18438 Wolfpack Machina from Beverly, Massachusetts. They were the Inspire Award recipient at the Chesapeake Regional Championship, earning them a spot in Houston. And if my memory serves me right, I think they missed only one cone the entire Chesapeake Championship in autonomous, which is just nuts, like definitely very, very tough. And, that late into the season, we definitely saw a lot of those defensive autos or interfering autos where they would try to go over to the other side. Not sure if Wolfpack had any that went against them, but just really, really good team. And I think we should just take a moment to appreciate the cinematography quality in this video. Really, really nice.
It really
when I
is
saw
nice.
this, I was kind of blown away. But yeah, back to their robot. I'm interested to see what they have for Houston, and I'm sure it'll be fantastic. And one thing definitely is for sure, they will not be flipping over another match. Watching them tip back that first qualification match at Chesapeake was so sad. But this team is not one that's going to make the same mistake twice. So I'm confident that they'll be a strong contender in Houston again.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting in auto seeing that they have such a long extension, and how they're able to control that so precisely to get that consistent 1+5.
Yeah, 100%. And so, Tyler, speaking of Houston and reveals, before we go into our top 25 or our top 5, I'd like to pause for a moment and mention one of the biggest nights coming up for Fun FTC in the community. Can you talk a bit about Fun FTC Reveal Night and Pre-Champ Show?
Yeah, just a little bit about that. So if you haven't been part of FTC Reveal Night before, we didn't have one last year just with how tight everything was between end of FRC season stuff. We are bringing it back again. So FTC Reveal Night is an opportunity for your team to submit a up to 2-minute unique video that's going to hype up your team for the World Championship. So if you're interested in doing that, you can go over to firstupdatesnow.com/FTC Reveal Night, and that will be your opportunity to submit, get some more information. We'll be posting in our Discord as well to some more information with this. But we'd love to have as many teams on. I think 2 years ago we had over 50 teams submit videos. So we'd be delighted to have your team as part of that as well too. So just a few things. You can read over all the requirements, but essentially we want a 2-minute video or less. Make sure, it's a 16 by 9 video. We're showing this on, this type of format. So not like vertical videos, that sort of thing. But we'll have some more information posted in our Discord soon. So you can learn more about what you need to do to submit. And we'd love to have you join. We usually have tons of giveaways. I know we get at least a few lined up as well too. This will take place, by the way, on Friday, April 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern is when we're going to be starting this. And submissions are due on Friday, Wednesday, the 12th, just by the time I wake up on the 13th sort of thing. So just if you got any questions, post that in our Discord. Let Abbas or I know, and we'll get back to you on that stuff. But we're very excited, and hopefully many teams are interested in participating in FTC Reveal Night. And then Abbas as well too, do you want to talk about the pre-champ show? Anything you want to add in for that?
Yeah. So sometime after reveal night, we're looking at like the Monday or Tuesday. We're going to do a pre-champ show. I doubt qualification matches will be out by then, but divisions should be. So we're going to go through all the divisions, talk about our top picks. We'll have community voting between reveal night and the pre-champ show to talk about like the community favorites in each division. Some dark horse teams, things we're really looking forward to seeing in each division. And overall, it's just going to be an awesome show to really introduce everything right before matches start on Wednesday. So I'm really excited about that show.
Let's go ahead and draw also for our giveaway from our friends at AndyMark, who is going to be for the sushi roller kit, as well as the cones as well. Sushi was the keyword for that, and we have another giveaway starting up in just a second too. But let's draw for that one, and the winner of that is going to be it's Rogan. Samantha, congratulations. Lots of rigged emotes in chat. We've clearly rigged it for Rogan to win. So congratulations on that. We're going to be starting our giveaway from GoBuilda in just a moment. But before we do that, let's thank our sponsor from Kettering University for supporting First Updates Now. Hey, if you haven't seen them around, Kettering University is at now quite a few FTC events. They're going to be at the World Championship as well too. But if you're looking at going to college where over 30% of high school students were in competitive robotics, take a look at Kettering University. They have an awesome STEM center, awesome FIRST center as well too, where they host many FRC and FTC teams. And they have a combat robotics team, esports area as well too. Lots of cool stuff for you. See if you're a good fit and see if you can meet up with somebody at Kettering. Go to kettering.edu/first to see where they'll have representatives, including at the World Championship. And let's start our giveaway from GoBuilda as well too. GoBuilda is going to be giving away some Viper slides on here. So 2 Viper slides. The keyword is extend. So if you're interested in winning that, make sure you type extend in chat. You do need to be following in order to win, and our subs get a little bit extra luck. By the way, Viper slides are compact, crazy heavy duty, and integrate flawlessly into the GoBuilda system. Whether you power them with cable or belt, their durability allows you to set and forget these slides on your robot. So thanks a lot to GoBuilda for this giveaway. We'll draw for this after our number 1 team has been unveiled.
All right, Caden, you want to go ahead and start off our top 5?
All right, and top 5 is team 14525, the TERRABATS from Northern California. Their incredible software and driving led them to be the first pick on the winning alliance at the NorCal Championships, meaning that they are going to Worlds. They have the most cones in auto from a team without horizontal extension, and I'm really interested to see if they can squeeze out those last couple seconds for 1 to 2 more cycles. Most impressive to me is probably their large driverless portion of teleop, where they're able to do multiple cycles in the high junction, then go over and finish their partner's autonomous stack.
Yeah, the first time I saw this clip, I was a little shocked, and it's pretty cool, really. They just set their controller down. I think you can see them doing it right here. And, this is a real match. It's not just some practice that they did in their garage or school field, whatever, but they just set their controller down and keep running their cycles. And, it's something. It's pretty cool. And I'm interested to see how much they show it off at Worlds. But just crazy team overall. Super, super fast robot. And I cannot wait to see how they do at Worlds. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that's really funny how they just put the controller down, because you never see any team like just do that during the driver control period.
Yeah, this team has a ton of top clips I just wanted to pick this one out because I thought it was so funny how they set
Yeah.
their controllers down. Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting how they get the driving back and forth between picking up a cone and depositing it so consistent. That's very cool.
Yep. All right, on to our fourth spot. So as I've said a couple times this season, this team just needs a bit more time to figure out all of their mechanisms. And, with the Texas State Championship coming up this weekend, I think Team 7172 Technical Difficulties has finally got it. They're looking to be an extremely strong contender. And since switching their second pivot points to linear slides, they've really upped their control, being far more efficient, rigid with their motions, and overall much faster. I'm beyond excited to see how they do at Texas State's this weekend, as they're our only team so far in the top 9 yet to qualify for Worlds. That's just they haven't had that opportunity to get one of those robot spots yet. So what do you guys think about this robot?
Wait, so are they still keeping their dual arms, or is it being
Yeah. So they
Okay.
have their dual arms still, but instead of like just rotational joints everywhere, it's like 1 or 2 rotational joints and then a linear slide. So it's like a lot easier to do that linear motion
Okay.
in certain directions. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely love the design with the 2 arms, because that's always like very fascinating to watch and see.
Yeah.
This is seriously
Katie, what
my
do you
favorite
think?
FTC robot I've ever seen. This thing is incredible. This is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that's crazy about it is that the drivetrain can like detach and extend, and they just haven't had the opportunity or need yet to do that in a match. So, Texas State's hopefully they'll be playing like 10, 11 matches with qualifications and elims. Hopefully we'll see that in one of the matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So coming in our third spot, holding the top 3, is another international team. This team coming from Romania is Team 19044 Peppers. This team scored a maximum of 290 points, putting them all the way up at the top. They're the finalist alliance at the Romania Championship and even got Inspired second place. This design overall is very effective and fast, and I honestly love it so much since I saw something very similar for the Florida State Championship.
Yeah, no, Pepper is just incredibly, incredibly fast. And it seems like they just do not stop moving. Like there is no point in the match unless they've like run out of cones or are waiting for more cones or are waiting for the end game period so they can get those last second junction ownership points. They are just constantly moving. And they're just so quick. Another team we did a great behind the bot with.
Yeah, something interesting
Yep.
that I saw on the behind the bots was that they have that color sensor or color distance sensor on their pull guide. It's kind of funny because we have a very similar design. And I guess we just kind of did it at the same time, so I don't really know about that. But seeing how much it improved our teleop period,
Mhm.
it's definitely interesting seeing another team have it and having their teleop also be super good.
Yeah, no, Peppers is just a crazy robot, and I can't wait to see what they bring to Worlds. And I think just in general, Worlds matches, qualifications, the limbs, everything are going to be so interesting with like these 2 very different robot archetypes, like the dual extensions or just the extensions in general, and then the teams like Pepper, TERRABATS, Juice, 14212. All these teams that don't have the extension but just drive so quickly around the field. So really going to be an interesting championship this year, and I can't wait. Yep.
All right. In second place is a team we actually did not get to see compete at a physical state championship. Team 12599 Overcharged. They were Inspire Wood winner and top robot at the Oregon State Championship this year and have really tuned the turret crane design. We're not seeing as many turret crane designs go to Worlds, but Overcharged would definitely be a strong contender.
Yeah, no, unfortunately at the last second, they just had to cancel the physical Oregon State Championship, had to go virtual for it. But obviously Overcharged pulled through, had those consistent matches, as we can see from the footage here, and is really able to use that turret crane design very effectively. So I'm excited to see how they do at Worlds. And, they're always a strong team, MTI, Worlds, Oregon in general. So I'm sure they'll be strong again. What do you guys think about this robot?
Yeah, it's interesting seeing that they don't go for depositing out the back. And it just shows that like depositing out the side, like we see with Brainstem, they do it. can be like basically just as fast. When cycling in Tele-Up.
Yeah, no, definitely a crazy robot. And I'm interested. I think they are running Mecanum. I know in the past, like they've tended to run that 6-wheel drive and they've been really popular for it. I'd have to take a closer look at their videos, but I think they're running Mecanum this season. So yeah, pretty interesting design decision. All right. So the moment we've all been waiting for, our March top 25 first place team goes to none other than Team 8644, the Brainstormers from Lexington, Massachusetts. We saw their insane performance at Chesapeake last month, going against the likes of Brainstem, Wolfpack, Equilibrium, and as expected, they were able to hold their own. And with just Texas states left, they look to be very strong contenders coming into the Houston World Championships. And for what may be the last time in 8644 history, I know they're going to want to make a bang and, go out with a splash. They're just such an incredible team. And I'm sure they're going to be bringing something incredible to Houston. I can't wait to see what they have. Probably 1 or 2 tricks up their sleeves, maybe nothing crazy. They don't typically redesign to whole new robots, but you never know with this team. And I just can't wait to see what they have. Fortunately, we don't have to wait too much longer, just under a month. Caden, Sahil, what do you guys think about this robot?
I've watched some of their matches, and it's interesting seeing that they go and block in the beginning of the Tele-Up period. And I think that's something you'll probably start to see more at Worlds. Or seeing teams like pause during Tele-Up and conserving cones so that they can get ownership towards the end.
Yeah, you say that's an interesting point. Like if both teams are trying to just wait and block each other, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, is the blue alliance going to go sit at the red substation? The red alliance is going to go sit at the blue substation. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how that works out for the teams at Worlds. But I'm sure it'll be some crazy strategy. I remember in Relic Recovery, Team 7161 Hydra, they had a very interesting strategy for the far side crypto box, in which they would like purposely take longer routes that messed with the opposing alliance, and it would just kill the opposing alliance's crypto box scores during qualifications. And it was just like such a big shift in game strategy. Just at Worlds they showed it. They hadn't showed it before at all. So I'm wondering if we'll see anything like that from any teams this season. I'm sure Brainstormers could be one of those teams that comes up with something like that, or maybe another team, but that would be definitely very interesting to see all the teams have to adopt to such an interesting strategy.
Yeah, it would be funny to see, like, as you said, if there's like all 4 robots just aren't moving for like a good 30 seconds, and then after that full speed, they try to get as many as they can. And then it would be like a chaotic, funny, and good kind of match to watch.
Yeah. But, Brainstormers, they're very, very well equipped for anything that's thrown at them. Just so incredibly versatile. And it'll definitely be interesting to see how they deal with defense this season. They've gone with that larger bot design, so they're a bit harder to push around. But I'm sure they've got something in the works. So, yeah, that's going to wrap up our FTC March top 25. What teams do you guys think deserve to be in the top 25 that weren't? Let us know in the fun Discord or comment on the YouTube video we're going to post later. And don't forget to vote each month for the FTC Top 25. And before we end the night, Tyler, let's draw for our last giveaway.
Yeah, let's get drawing from our friends at GoBuilda for the Steel Viper slides. You get a 2-pack of that. And the winner of that is going to be Kids on Films. Congratulations. Please make sure you shoot me, First Updates Now, a message here on Twitch or on Discord, preferably, with all your shipping information, first name, last name, mailing address, preferably email, so they can send you tracking data, all that fun stuff as well. And thanks a lot to both GoBuilda and AndyMark for supplying the giveaways for tonight's show.
Yeah, Caden, why don't you head us out?
All right, thank you for all the follows and subscriptions we received today. Don't forget that you can subscribe for free through Twitch Gaming. We hope you enjoyed this episode of FTC Top 25. If you want to stay connected with what First Updates Now FTC is doing, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at FunFTC, and join our Discord through the link in the chat.
Yeah, and on behalf of myself, Caden, Sahil, and our producer Tyler working behind the scenes, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. We really appreciate the community coming out, showing their support, and please keep an eye out for our future new FTC content coming out on YouTube, FTC Reveal Night, and our Champs Preview Show. And that's going to be all for tonight. Bye, everyone.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. Kettering University is looking for talented robotics students who want to continue learning and innovating in a hands-on, real-world experience format. Kettering University representatives will be at dozens of FIRST events this season, including the championship. Go to kettering.edu/first to see which events you can meet a Kettering University representative.